Testing, testing.
Testing, 1 2 1 2 testing. Testing, 1 2 1 2. All right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we're gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Makakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to Allah Akimodia that's doing the work with sincerity and charity, with humiliation all across the four winds. To you, I salute. All right. Yeah, so we got a lesson lineup, Lord willing. It be edifying and it serve its purpose. All right, so we're gonna, touch a little bit on Ww3. But before we get to that, all right, I just want to speak a little bit on the whole situation with that 12-year-old. All right, yes, that was a gruesome sin. Okay, now the whole country talking, the whole region as a whole. All right, talking. Yes, we understand that's judgment ultimately from Yah Bashem Yahushai. All right, but then also, man, that speak volumes to our people. All right, for one, when you listen at the story of the mother, that ain't make no sense at all. All right, because how your child gone missing and you wait till the damn next day to report the child missing. That ain't make no sense. You understand? You understand? That's craziness. All right. That's damn cruel, boy. You understand? Another thing, you weaponizing, withholding your child from the father. All right. That's basically destruction of that family.
Yeah.
That ain't make no sense. You understand? If someone could get a precept in Lamentation, the daughter of my people have become cruel. All right, and I'm placing all the responsibility and all the fault on the mother. All right, you gotta blame the system as well.
Good.
All right, you got a precept? Yeah. All right, I don't remember the exact I don't remember the exact thing, but it
Lamentation.
all right, bring the precept, brother.
Okay, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom,
Right.
and towards her son, and towards her daughter. Okay.
Right. Eyes is gonna be evil toward a husband. All right. In this case, that child father. There's multiple reports of the father saying, man, he wanted a child because the mother wasn't mentally stable. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. We live in a society where you can't even flicking discipline your child. All right, you can't take responsibility of your child. Only got to blame the system for that.
And she, like I said earlier, she only wants that child in her possession for
Financial gain.
Okay, yes. Child support.
Child support. Which you can hold on that Psalm 94 and 20. We can hit that too. Right? Give me what you got there, brother.
Lamentation 4:3. Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones.
You see that? The damn creatures in the sea, the shark, the damn stingray, all right, the different fish, all right, the dolphin, shit, even damn Leviathan. You understand? These animals, sea creatures, all right, they protect their loved ones. They're young. All right, and you see that even with animals on the earth. You seeing that? So how much more you in a better damn position than these creatures?
Right.
How the hell you can damn wait till the next day to report your child missing?
I don't play the victim or nobody, no. The carry me this place or carry me that place, but that ain't no excuse.
That ain't no excuse.
Everywhere, wait, my time being in Nassau, everywhere in Nassau is in within walking distance. But it's only 21/7.
Can.
You see? But because our people get so far and they don't walk nowhere, everybody want to drive. You see, everywhere over there in walking distance.
Can.
What happened with calling the police station?
Call the police and pick up.
That's it.
There ain't no excuse.
Uh-huh.
That's because
None whatsoever.
they lack accountability.
Can.
As the precept says here, the daughter of my people has become cruel like the ostriches in the wilderness. And we know what the ostriches do. They lay their egg, bury it, and walk and
go.
forget about it.
Right. All right. That's a being cruel. Eyes being evil towards her children that come from between her legs.
That she should be locked up. That's a criminal.
That's it.
That's a criminal act.
That's neglect.
That's neglect. You know, but then when it comes to the man,
Or they send him to the river.
you understand? Where's the outcry? You know, where's the people who supporting the father?
Okay, and the father was trying to.
The father was. That's it. If the father was in that child life, I guarantee you that would have never gone like that.
When you look at the statistics, right? It was proven that children raised inside a single parent household with the father do, I think it's 45% more better than children raised inside a household.
45%. I read is 80%. All right.
That was a high number.
A clear example, a good example is look at Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. And then the other thing, the state that father was in, his house and his home and everything was so much better, and he had such a better environment for that child than with the mother.
Yeah.
So he was better able to take care and be more responsible, had a more responsible environment situation.
But you see, like the house was going into, the system failed that child because the system would know that the father is a better way forward for the child. But because it caters to the needs and the feelings of the woman, you know, the child would suffer. And it goes even further than that, because the woman, the way how she is now, because the system failed the man for not keeping the woman in subjection. Because if a man was to go right now and find this woman doing something, and he correct her for it, he get locked up.
That's it. The system is only for the women.
Right.
That's it. Yes, I'm brother.
That's the most side exposing these women now, and they say the daughter. Okay, he's exposing these women and bringing them down from this pinnacle that Esau had them on.
God.
This is out there that you were saying earlier about the women, they use child support as a weapon. They use taking the child away from the father as a weapon.
Right, we can touch on that in a little bit.
Okay, because a few years back, I myself was a victim of that. Okay, whereas my ex-wife, okay, held my daughter from me for about 2 weeks. Okay, all right, 2 weeks she held my daughter from me. I couldn't talk with her, couldn't see her, couldn't do nothing with her. And all because when you go back to that situation between the mother and the father, is that these mothers, okay, in the result, they want the father to come back. So this is what they do.
Because they live inside a society where they always getting what they want. So when they no longer get what they want, they revolt against it. She wanted the father back. He wasn't into that. He moved on. Because she probably did some wicked shit when he was unforgivable. But because he didn't go back, okay, then since I can't have you back, and take your chance.
That's it.
Yeah.
Turn the child against the father.
Exactly.
Right. Yes, something, brother.
Yeah, this is for that same precept with the law comparing the woman as the ostrich, right? And I get a precept to back it up. I can read it in the NLT, right? This is Job 39, verse 13 to 16. It says, the ostrich flaps her wings grandly, but they are no match for the feathers of the stork. She lay her eggs on top of the earth, letting them be warm in the dust. She doesn't worry that a foot might crush them or a wild animal might destroy them. She is harsh toward a young one, as if they were not her own. She doesn't care if they die.
That's it. And that's exactly what it is with this woman. She damn near mentally fit to be a parent. You understand? But the system damn allow that to the one she was getting child support.
Yeah.
All right, which is our next precept. You got at Psalms 94 and 20. All right.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 94 and 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?
You see that? They frame it mischief by a law. That's the system. All right. Now that man been crying out and pleading for his child. Guess what? That fall on their heads. All right. And then you got these damn women saying they protesting in the front of the CID. All right. When the whole system is damn broken. All right. They have the choice to go to these damn abortion clinics, okay, and do whatever without the consent of the man. But then the man is jailed in return for not wanting to take care of his child. Right. And you could get that precept. See what I said? It's okay for the woman to put her unborn child to death. Okay, but it is lawful and righteous for a man if he don't want to mind his child.
That's wicked.
You see what I saying? The man should have some say.
Yeah. It's a lot of thing about it too. That child who they killed him, that is within him, that is in their child. You see, that is that man child.
That's it.
They don't even see it.
Right? Together, Isaiah.
This Isaiah 10 and 1, it says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed.
Right, because the whole system of child support is designed to destroy families. All right, and we seen an example of that earlier in this week. All right, so all these people were talking and saying this and saying that. Let's go back to them some legislation and fix it.
That's it.
That's it. All right. So we need a savior. We need to be saved from this. All right, and the only way this is gonna be solved is by Yahweh coming back. All right.
Stop here.
That's it. Society have to be dissolved. All right. So yeah, man, I just wanted to briefly touch on that, put my 2 cents onto that. You know. All right. All right. So now we're gonna. Oh, go ahead, brother.
I ain't gonna say you hear what 72-year-old woman got
Yeah, I heard about that as well.
a 25-year-old month.
All right, they saying, man, all kind of reports said she was a cougar and all of that. You know, so it's a bunch of shit.
I mean, she had no husband. She was a so-called
Independent woman.
woman.
Man, I'm a time we stand right under this cabana and say, well, the same independent woman is going to be low-hanging fruit. You understand? If she had a husband, that would have never happened. That nigga wouldn't even consider breaking in a house. But then that's scriptural as well. All right. Yeah, man. So on other news, we're gonna, turn a little bit to World War 3. All right. We're gonna touch a little bit on how when Great Britain, and NATO, give basically the okay for Ukraine to use their long-range missiles. All right, on Russia. All right. Yeah, God, read that.
It says here, Putin lowers the threshold for using his nuclear arsenal after Biden's decision for Ukraine.
That's it. So we're not 11. All right, which we're gonna touch on that in a little bit. All right. So yeah, man. So we pretty much now living in some pretty much interesting times. All right. The U.S. in the Bible, the United States in the Bible is known as the virgin daughter of Babylon. All right, and she's making a lot of moves right now along, with our allies, NATO. Now the news is out that, like I say, Biden allows Ukraine to strike Russia with long-range U.S. missiles. Now, of course, you know, it's pretty much a lot of topics out there. Brothers did a lot of videos on that out there. Everybody's getting involved. That's just how it is. You can't help that. Yeah, it might be the same topic, but it might be different information on the same topic. All right, so we have to speak on this. It is our duty to speak on this topic through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, you know, to give the people warning and letting them know what is about to happen. All right. So an article, right, that I was looking at, all right, I think brothers would have shared it in the group as well, says Biden allows Ukraine to strike Russia with long-range missiles. All right, so this is big news. Okay, this is big news, and everybody is talking about it. Everybody's talking about World War III and how it's already started. All right, but now, of course, you know, we have to go to the scriptures, you know, and understand. Just because we might have conflict between two nations, it don't mean that, you know, it's gonna just jump to or escalate to World War III. You're gonna have something called escalations, okay? And we're gonna talk about that. All right, so we are able to measure the times. All right, but we definitely closer than ever before. All right, so again, Biden authorized Ukraine to use U.S. long range. Now, I was looking at this article. All right, I was looking at this article that says from Russian news from RT or Russia Today that says Kiev's fire ATACMS missiles at Russia in the Bryansk region. All right, so yeah, man. Like I say, of course, you know everybody know about that. Everybody knows about, you know, Ukraine shot those missiles, and I think Russia intercept 5 or 6 of those missiles. All right, yeah, man. All right, so yeah, Russia got hit, but when you check the reports and those articles, you'll see that, you know, it wasn't no casualties. All right, and for the longest, we heard Putin warn NATO and the U.S. that if Ukraine used those U.S.-made long-range missiles, that of course, you know, that would be an escalation. All right, and Russia would retaliate accordingly. We understand that. So now, remember, all right, uh, these nations that are fighting, all right, they have something called politicians, okay, that they are using. All right, uh, when you understand geopolitics, all right, so you have to understand the language, you know, back and forth between nations. All right, and they speak through something called, you know, geopolitics. All right, and yes, we close to the World War III than ever before, but you have to understand that politicians have a certain language. All right, and a lot of these attacks, all right, when it happens, they sometimes would give each other phone calls and say, well, look, yeah, I about to hit this part. And then you'll have the opposition say, well, the opposition would give signals letting you know that, hey, look, yeah, certain military places, all right, certain military sites, you know, would get hit. So that would basically give them time to, uh, right, move their soldiers and the civilian out of that particular region. Right. All right, because you know warfare with begins with, as you know, with military men. All right, you know, blowing up each other pretty much, different military. All right, so what they do, they'll send out a warning or codes, you know, that they're gonna attack. Okay, but the code is for that particular nation, you know, to evacuate their civilians so that they don't get catch up, you know what, and the destruction. All right. And also, what we have to understand is that this is modern day warfare. All right, and modern day warfare is bad as shit. It ain't like in ancient times, because again, you get all the geo politics and all these political red tapes and things you have to go through. All right, or otherwise you'll be labeled as a war criminal. So you can't just go and do how you see fit, because you have civilians. See what I said? So these wars and these conflicts is just basically between like their armies. The civilians is out of it. All right.
It's more or less organized warfare. There's certain policies involved. Like if you remember in times past when Trump was in office at first, when he straight up just killed Soleimani.
Yeah.
The world was inside an uproar because the people in America was like, well, they wanted him dead, right? Trump said, "He dead? Yeah. So what's the problem?" Because he didn't go through the proper channels and letting them know, hey, we gonna do this, right or that. They look at him as a war criminal. You see?
Yeah. All right. Right. So what we're gonna do if we're gonna look up we're gonna look at Russia's new nuclear doctrine. Okay, we're gonna look at that. We're gonna look at some key points. Okay, we're gonna look at some key points. I can Google that for me. Right.
It says, President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday formally lowered the threshold for Russia's use of its nuclear weapons, a move that follows U.S. President Joe Biden's decision to let Ukraine strike targets inside Russian territory with American-supplied long-range missiles. It says the new doctrine allows for a potential nuclear response by Moscow, even to a conventional attack on Russia by any nation that is supported by a nuclear power.
Right. Do you have some key points in there?
It says, so Ukraine 5 6.
Or you could just Google it. Whatever. The Russia's new doctrine, new nuclear doctrine. Just, key points. Screen share it here. Right. They want to make one or two points. See? Yeah, just pull that up. I know. Russia's new nuclear doctrine. Key points.
This says this one is it says new Russian doctrine increases possible nuclear weapons use scenarios. I don't know if that's one there.
All right, let's go some like points down. All right. So start here. All right. All right. Well, we tell we run on and tell the brother get it right. But what happened? What the nuclear doctrine? Their doctrine basically, that's like a guideline. All right, or how they gonna use, these missiles. All right, because Putin, he called a meeting with his uh, uh, whole political board pretty much. He talked about this escalation. All right. We talk about this escalation. All right.
So like their uh, nuclear doctrine being updated, basically based on the tension level, the threat level,
Right.
the threat level. Okay. Basically, when country that is non-nuclear, a country that is a non-nuclear powerhouse, okay, being backed by a nuclear powerhouse. Okay.
All right.
Um, it says it says you see it go straight. It says who approves changes to the Russian nuclear doctrine. You see, it says under the changes, a large attack on Russia with conventional missiles, drones, or aircraft could meet the criteria for a nuclear response.
All right. Read another point they get there.
It says any aggression against Russia by a state which is a member of a coalition would be seen by Moscow. We get
Some of the key points of the newly added list include the creation of new or the expansion of existing military coalitions, alliances leading to the advancement of their military infrastructure to the borders of the Russian Federation. The actions of a potential adversary aimed at isolating part of the territory of the Russian Federation, including blocking access to vital transportation communications. The actions of a potential adversary aimed at defeating or destroying or eliminating ecologically hazardous objects of the Russian Federation, which may lead to man-made near the borders of the Russian Federation. So any of these things could be grounds for nuclear war.
Right. Right. So the brother just read some of the points. All right. So those missiles that Ukraine use, those are U.S. made long range missiles. Those missiles, they could actually, carry nuclear warheads as well. All right. All right. So that is why, we see that this is an escalation. All right. And this is what Putin is talking about. All right. So you have all these state points and policies, when you continue to read on, that's basically for nuclear deterrence. All right. All right. So we can just browse through it quickly. All right. So like I say, I have a couple right out here. All right. Like I say, this is the new doctrine because before using nuclear weapons, all right, you gotta have some type of documentation. All right. You gotta have laws written on the books because if because of the level of destruction that's from these nukes. All right. And ultimately, we know that the Most High Power Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he created those. All right. So basically, you're going to be held responsible. All right. If you don't have a article or a law or something to that effect that gives you the right, especially, when it comes to first strike. Okay.
That's how come they call them treaties. And what a treaty is a formally concluded and ratified agreement between states. So the world countries and the world heads and leaders, they have treaties amongst each other stating that they can't do certain things without, certain things being in place. So they can't just go and nuke another country just because they want to. They have all things are done decently and in order. Even the wicked have to follow a guideline. Even the wicked have to follow order. You see how the most, but you see how dread the most is.
Yep.
You know?
Right. You know, and that's because of these type of weapons. These weapons are capable of mass destruction. All right, so they gotta have some type of laws or something, you know, in place. Otherwise, it'll be named a war criminal. All right, like gun, like they say, especially when it comes to first strike. So the U.S. is the only nation that has been upheld up until now. All right, to allow a first strike policy, meaning the U.S. could strike first with thermonuclear missiles on anyone. All right, and they have the right to do that because basically there's an empire. Okay, but now since the U.S. broke out of that nuclear treaty a few years ago, gone. So now Russia don't have the answer or come to the table. So now they can have a document that can allow them now to strike first, right? So what I did, I look up or I Google the Russian first strike policy. All right. It says the Kremlin announced that Putin had approved an updated nuclear doctrine, a doctrine, a document that governs how Russia uses its nuclear arsenal, including the declaration of Moscow, including the declaration that Moscow could unleash a nuclear first strike if subject to an attack by a non-nuclear country that has the support of a nuclear state. You see that? So first of all right, this has to do with the deliverance of our people. All right, so that's damn good news. And the scripture is gonna show the reason why, all right, we get into these escalations. And that's because, you know, we have when what? Prophecies come to pass. All right. And Yahweh Shem Yahushai, what he's doing, he's sealing his elect. All right. So we are so close, all right, to society breaking down and the mark of the beast being established. You know, World War III kicking off. All right. And this is all happening so that Yahweh Shem Yahushai can send his son, you know, to basically deliver his people. All right. That's why you see these nations getting ready to destroy each other. Okay, that's beautiful. Right. Turn back our captivity. So we're going to read this first strike policy again. It says the Kremlin announced that Putin had approved an updated nuclear doctrine, a document that governs how Russia uses its nuclear arsenal, including the declaration that Moscow can unleash a nuclear strike if subject to an attack by a non-nuclear country that has the support of a nuclear state. You see? So now the Russians don't have to come to the table and ask permission to use these nukes.
No, they allies.
Right. All right. And since they're no longer a part of that nuclear treaty, they can decide that, you know, this is their own article, that they're going to go according to their own article or their own laws, basically, and not according to international laws. You see that? So now Russia can move on its own. All right, when it comes to nuking a nation, even if a nation doesn't have a nuke. You see that? But if the nation is being helped and weapons is being supplied to these nations, all right, from other nations to destabilize Russia. All right.
So that means, Salakia, if a country that doesn't have nukes is being helped by a country that has nukes, that means Russia now can strike that country that doesn't have nukes because it's going under the premises that it receiving nukes from another country.
Right. So they enact their first strike policy. That's why you see Putin use those ICBMs. They hit Ukraine. All right, and that was a show of power. Showing, because remember now, Putin and Russia only ain't fighting Ukraine, he's fighting the US and NATO. See what I said? So he's saying that as a warning. All right, he meant not to put no warhead on that. You see? And the type of missile that he used is capable of carrying up to 600 nuclear warheads. All right. And also, he's bragging and boasting that no defense system could stop that, because if you look at that video, you ain't seen not one damn thing on fire off to say try to stop that. That's it. They're unstoppable. All right, so they're gonna hit his mark.
That's it.
That's who riding it, and whether you believe it or not, the Most High, the same way the Most High was with Antiochus to accomplish his will, he's the same way with Putin. All right, so that's just beautiful, man. All right, so we have to understand the language, all right, of geopolitics, so that we can measure the time, so that we don't jump the gun. Yeah, things are seating up, man. All right, that's why it's so important for us to know the language. And if you know the language, you understand where we are. All right, even though it's critical, but it's not that critical as it seems, because there's rules and regulation to modern day warfare. Okay, now what we're gonna do? We're gonna look at the Russian model of escalation management. All right, we're gonna look at that. Okay, we have here they have nuclear war, a mass use of SNF and NS NSNW on military economic adversary target. So basically, that just talks at that point. All right. Then you get a large scale war. All right. Then you have a regional war. Okay. No, Salakia. Yeah. You have peacetime, Salakia. You have peacetime. All right. Then you have a military threat. Okay. That's talks. Then you have a local war. Then it goes from local war to regional war. And that's where we at right now. All right. Because Russia and Ukraine, they're in the same region. See what I said? All right. It says mass use of precision strikes on adversary targets is a single or group user of non-strategic nuclear weapons. All right, and that's exactly what we're saying with Putin. All right, so he's following his nuclear doctrine to the T. You see what I said? So that allows him, again, that nuclear doctrine allows him to strike first.
So America no longer really get away with a proxy war.
Right.
Because a proxy was the US using another country to fight the battle for them. A proxy is like a mediator.
Right. All right. It says a single or group use of non-strategic nuclear weapons on adversary forces. Demonstration use of SNF or NSNW. It goes on to say action in support of guaranteed infliction of single nuclear strikes. Again, that's what we see with Putin. All right. So it goes now from the next step would be a large scale war. All right. And that's including NATO, US, all right, China, Russia, all of them, and its allies. All right. Then you have, which we're not there yet, but we're getting there. All right. All out nuclear war. So the next step would be a large scale war. All right. So Russia just can't get into a conflict and then go from 0 to 100. Nations can't do that. Okay? They can't do that. All nations have an escalation management. All right? Because the people will be held responsible. Those politicians, they will be held responsible, if they skip, these steps. You can't just go out and kill people. They don't work like that. All right? Because you'll be named a war criminal. All right, so this is the standard of how to go about fighting modern day warfare according to uh, uh, Russia's escalation management. So again, this is modern day warfare, man. All right, and a large scale war. All right. So we almost there, but brethren, we almost there. We getting closer and closer to World War III. All right, but there's a few things that has to happen. All right, before that take place. So this is why it's so important. All right, to get into prophecy.
Watching this one, let's pray.
Can all right. So we're gonna get some precepts, right? We're gonna get Revelation 16 and 15. You could read that in the KJV, then I want that now, NLT, Malak.
God, this Revelation 16 and 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame.
Right. All right. So we gotta watch as well as pray. All right. That's what happened over there. We gotta keep an eye on that. All right. You got it in the NLT, Malak. All right. Yeah, man.
All right, this is Revelation chapter 16 and verse 15 in the NLT. It reads, look, I will come as unexpected are all who are watching for me, who keep their clothing ready so they will not have to walk around naked and ashamed.
Done. All right. So World War III will take place in the Middle East. Okay. World War III is going to take place in the Middle East as far as the military being deployed, because you can't just have the nukes flying before you have the military deployed in the into the Middle East. All right. Now, what might take place is you might have these different stage, all right, attacks, all right, and they might blame Russia. All right, so that's something you gotta look out for. They might blame the Russians or the Iranians. All right, so that's what we should be expecting, in the coming months. Okay, because we seen that before with 9/11. All right, so if you have nukes going off, all right, we got to be aware of that. All right, and it's important, to explain this, because that's what prophets do. We explain things, man. We go into geopolitics so that we could measure the times. All right, so it's just, measure the times, because before those nukes fly, society also have to collapse. All right, and that's a fact. All right, so read 15 again, brother.
On the NLT or no?
Yeah, the NLD.
No, no. Revelation 16 and 15.
This is Revelation 16 and 15 in the NLT. It says, look, I will come as unexpectedly as a thief. Blessed are all who are watching for me, who keep their clothing ready, so they will not have to walk around naked and ashamed.
Right. So that's Yahushua speaking, saying, man, look here. Blessed are the ones who's watching. All right. And we are watching. That's the reason why we got come out here and talk about these things and want to hopefully let. So essentially, we are blessed. All right. And we don't want to be naked and caught out here being completely lost. All right. That's something the 2/3 is going to have happen to them. Read the next verse, brother. The NLT.
Verse 16, it says, and the demonic spirits gathered all the rulers and their armies to a place with the Hebrew name Armageddon.
You see that? And the demonic spirits. So it's demonic spirits. And they're being pushed, all right, to do these things. The brother speak a little earlier on how, even the demons and all obey the Lord. All right. So this is all of the Most High. The demonic spirits are being pushed to do these things because when you play around with nukes, guess what? You damn killing everything. You see what I said? So what I did, right? Uh, you could look this up too, brother. You could Google how long would it take for a nuclear annihilation. Yeah, yeah, for nuclear annihilation. All right. So I have it there. Let me just read it briefly because I until you get it. It says a total nuclear annihilation would likely occur within hours.
They say the effects of a nuclear war would be immediate, with dangerous fallout occurring within minutes of an explosion.
You see that? Within minutes. What I like would say within hours. You see? All right.
I remember I watched it was an article where this woman was talking about the effects of nuclear bombs. And they tested it with animals. They set animals at different impact zones. And they say the animals who were placed directly on it, it's like it was magnificent. She used the word magnificent to see how the bodies of them just disintegrated, right? And then they placed animals at 50 miles away from the impact zone. And they say even those animals they became blind from just seeing the explosion. And when the shock wave hit, they had mild concussions. So you can imagine a bomb go off 50 miles away from you, and because you see it, you lose your eyesight. That's the type of weapon they were working with.
Right. And that's 600 times that. So the effect is going to be deadly. You see what I said?
So that can, if you go on YouTube, you will see a lot of simulation dealing with a nuclear bomb hitting ground zero. Okay, like I was saying about the effects.
Done.
Okay, they show you that in animation.
Done. All right. So within a matter of hours, you could have a total nuclear annihilation. That's why the scripture says what Babylon is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. All right, half hour for the nukes to fly, and the next half to finish. Okay, but ultimately, it's the spirits that's moving and gathering these leaders. All right, to do these self-destructive moves, basically. All right, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. All right. So now, what I did, right? I look up the word Armageddon on the online etymology dictionary. All right, for Armageddon. It says cataclysmic final conflict, great and final conflict. What's this? Mount of Megiddo, a city in central Palestine, site of important Israelite battles. And when you look up Armageddon, right, the word Megiddo also comes with that. All right, that's why it states what important battle sites of the Israelites. All right, and what I did a word search, for the word Megiddo. And I had a bunch of scriptures pop up. All right. The word Megiddo goes back or right along with the word Armageddon, which when you read the precepts, I'm using the word Megiddo, it goes back to a place where kings were slaughtered. Okay. So it's a valley where a lot of kings died. Their whole empire ended in the valley of Megiddo. So Armageddon, all right, that's the Arabian Peninsula. That's where all the armies of the earth was going to be deployed and kill each other. All right. And the one army that's being pushed, to the brink right now is the Russian army. All right. And in the scripture, Russia is known as what? Gog and Magog. All right. So we damn definitely in some beautiful times. All right. Now, yes, we have these different world leaders saying that World War III has already started, but really and truly, it hasn't started as yet. All right, because these armies have to be deployed over there in Saudi Arabia. Okay, So let's get out the book of Revelation 20 and 7. All right, I want that in the NIV. You could read that Malak in the KJV. All right. All right. You got that in the NIV. You want to get that in the NIV as well. Revelation 27.
Revelation 20 and 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison.
Right. All right. And let's get that in the NIV. Okay, because we can read a couple of verses in the NIV. Let's get for 7 first. All right. All right. Yeah. Done.
Look at Revelation chapter 20 and 7. It says, when the 1,000 years are over, Satan will be free from his prison.
All right.
Or when the 1,000 years are complete, Satan will be released from his prison.
All right. You see that Satan will be released from his prison, and that basically say the same thing in the NIV. All right. And in my Bible, all right, the heading says the judgment of Satan. You see that? All right, which are speaking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, so he's the physical representation of Satan on the earth. You see that? All right, read that again, brother, because we can pick up a couple of voices in that same thing, right?
It says, and when the 1,000 years are ended, Satan will be let loose out of his prison.
Right. And the Christians, them, they don't understand this. See what I said? They don't understand the scriptures. All right, 1,000 years is talking about from 300 to 1,300 years. All right, when those devils wasn't a major part of history. That history is known as the Dark Ages. Can. All right, because that 1,000 year period. All right, there was some good things that being done, as far as our culture. All right, as far as culture, and a lot of the culture we have today comes from the Dark Ages. The same thing. Can. So during the Renaissance period, that's when those Edomites started to rise up through the ranks, in the church, the different churches, the Roman Catholic Church, and then also these different marriages, with these different kings. All right, that's where you get Caesar Borgia's family. All right, so that's that 1,000 year period where Satan would be released. All right, so he got released and he became a major part of society. And what he do? He damn take over the culture. All right, and he damn pretty much whitewash everything. All right, from that time. All right, and from that time he's been doing shit on the earth ever since. He's been doing shit like this, right? Let's read the next voice, brother, and that's same version. All right, verse 8.
I will go out to put in error the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to get them together to the war, the number of whom is like the sand of the sea.
Right, that's verse 8. Yeah, read verse 8 again.
It says, and will go out to put in error the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to get them together to the war, the number of whom is like the sands of the sea.
Right, you see that? Gog and Magog. Who that is? Russia. That's Russia. You see what I said? So yes, all right, the military men have to be deployed also. All right, they have to be deployed, but also the nukes ain't gonna be shot off. All right, and that it ain't gonna be shot off before these different militaries get into the Valley of Jehoshaphat. That's when World War III is really gonna kick off. Yep. You see that? So certain things have to happen, and when those nukes fly, they all gonna hit its mark. All right, they all gonna hit its mark. All right, read verse 9.
Verse 9. And they went up over the face of the earth and made a circle about the tents of the saints and the well-loved town, and fire came down out of heaven for their destruction.
Right. So before we get to that stage, it's important that we line up the scriptures, you know, with this current situation between Russia, Ukraine, NATO, and the US. See what I said? So yes, again, you have these leaders saying World War III has begun, but the scriptures say it's something else. So we have to understand and put everything together. You understand? So it could make sense. All right. So from there, let's jump to Luke 21, 8 and 9. You get it in the KJV. All right.
21 and what? 9.
Done.
Done. This is Luke chapter 21, verse 8.
Read.
And he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Messiah, and the time draweth nigh. Go ye not therefore after them. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. For these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by.
Right. It said, be not terrified. And the reason why they use the word terrified is because you're getting real close.
Yep.
All right. The people don't really, the people who don't really know the scriptures, all right, believe that those nukes is going to fly before. No. All right. Those nukes ain't going to fly before. Yes, Putin used a ICBM, but that wasn't nuclearized. All right. So those nukes ain't going to fly before those soldiers, all right, get deployed over there in the Arabian Peninsula. All right. All right. Yeah, but like I said, these people who don't believe that, they believe that those nukes is going to be flying off, but that's not the case. Things gotta happen first. All right. Things gotta happen first in society. All right. Nations have to collapse economically, socially. All right. And chaos have to actually take place, you know, before these things escalate to that stage. All right. That's why, you know, we gone into the different levels of escalations. All right. And the Russians, all right, they ain't gonna skip steps. We seeing that already. Okay. The Lord isn't gonna allow them to skip those steps. Because if you watch the way how Putin moving, you watch the way how he talking in confidence. All right. This ain't sound like no leader who damn is afraid. All right, he's speaking in confidence. Okay. Let's read verse 10, brother. Not Luke. All right.
Done. Luke 21 and 10. Then he said unto them, nations shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom.
Right. So guess what? Society have to collapse and chaos as the reign in society before these nukes, okay, could fly. All right. The mark of the beast and all have to be in place,
Right.
before one of those nukes fly. I'm sorry, but that's just the order of things. All right. So it's important to keep that in mind, and I can prove that right now with this last precept. Let's get Revelation 16, 1 and 2.
God, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 16, starting at verse 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of Yahweh upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image.
Right, you see that? So for that to happen, right, for the nukes to be shot off, men would have to have the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast have to be established in society. All right, before those nukes could be shot off. Again, the mark of the beast have to be set up. All right, established in society, and the society have to be in total chaos before one of those nukes could fly. I'm sorry, but that's how it is.
That's what it is.
All right, it ain't gonna happen before. So So yeah, man. So it's all about, you know, giving a clear understanding of geopolitics and matching it, you know, through the scriptures and with prophecies. All right. So we close.
Yeah.
We dead close. All right, but we're gonna continue to watch. All right. So Lord willing, you know, this was edifying and it served a purpose.
Yeah, but again, quick precept. This is to back you up. This has to happen also first. In the prophecy of this is Revelation 7 and verse 1 to 3. It says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, pulling back the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor any tree. And that's speaking about the destruction, right?
Okay.
And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads.
Right. So while all of this going on, the Most High is sealing his servants as well.
That's it. Done.
So all of this has to be done before those nukes could fly.
That's it.
All right. So yeah, man. Lord willing, that was edifying and it served its purpose. So with that, get something. So with that, we're gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim Makakwadash, Shalom, and the Bad Babal.
Done.
Done.